Being a righteous man was never about strength. It's always been about responsibility. It's about what you carry, not what you show people on the outside. And this is a very specific topic because it kind of goes into the contrast of how society portrays masculinity, which is through power, dominance, appearance, money, status, right? And how a real righteous man, or how righteousness defines it, with the service, self control, accountability, being a genuine light and beacon of hope for people around you. Every real man carries weight. The question is, what kind of weight are you gonna carry and how is it gonna affect you, right? So, how are you gonna take the problems that life throws at you and how are you gonna deal with them in a way? So, there's a very big modern misunderstanding of manhood. And a lot of men confuse freedom with carelessness because we think being free means doing what we want, right? But real freedom is mastering yourself because whenever you get, me personally, whenever I used to get a lot of freedom, I used to spend it on TikTok, Instagram, and I used to think that that was me having control, right? Because I was saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to give myself 1 hour of TikTok time, for example. And it's in my journey over the last year or two, and I've been learning a bit more about what does mastering myself really mean, like how does freedom look like to me. And once I started understanding that most systems, most things in our society nowadays, they play on a specific emotion in you, right? They play on a specific system in you. I'll give you an example, like from TikTok, the way the videos are made and the way the algorithm is made, it's literally capitalizing off your dopamine system. And this got me to ask myself a lot of questions like, am I really free? Or am I doing what I'm able to do? Or like, am I having freedom? Or am I being just careless about my time? A lot of men run from responsibility, right? Because we tend to we love easy stuff. We love comfortable stuff. We love sitting on our phones, playing PlayStation. We love sometimes to run away from responsibility. But a real righteous man, you have responsibilities towards your family, your relationships, the promises you made to people, and the discipline that you made to yourself. And every single point as a man, you owe it to yourself, first of all, before even owing it to other people. And a very beautiful thing that I always used to think about is the fact that once you truly control the triggers and control yourself genuinely, this is where you're going to feel the most free. When you're going to be yourself unapologetically, when you're going to do whatever aligns with yourself because you don't care anymore about the outside world, right? Because you fix the internal pillars. You are, for example, you're disciplined toward yourself. You've shown yourself that even through the roughest, most difficult time, you're going to show up for yourself. And all of that builds a lot of self-confidence and a lot of self-love. If you're trying to fix yourself, then you already love yourself. If you're trying to love yourself, you already love yourself. It's a paradox. And responsibility was never a prison. It's what gives life. It's what gives life structure, meaning, and even peace, internal peace. I promise you, every single man I know, and I'm gonna give you my example. Every single time I've helped someone, every single time someone looked at me and told me, I feel better because you're around. This is what made me feel good. It was never about buying new things. True, of course, when you buy something, you feel so good at the beginning, but then it's a fleeting emotion. And a very important thing is the weight that you choose to carry. So I'll give you an example. And this is an example that is important to me. I've started doing MMA classes a while back, and I already work a very demanding job as a consultant. And honestly, I've been finding it very difficult to give myself the time to go to my job, finish the projects on time, and then come back home, clean, cook to hit my macros, then go to the MMA practice, come back, eat, clean. This sort of cycle is very difficult to maintain, but I promise you, I can't word exactly how much pride I have in myself now and how much self-love I have towards myself because It's so easy for me to, for example, show love to myself by going and buying, I don't know, getting in debt and buying a car for myself, right? Because I love cars, or like buying myself an expensive phone, expensive perfume. Those are the easy stuff, right? Relatively, it's easy. But I promise you, when you take the choice to still show up for yourself, to still hold yourself accountable to your own promises to yourself, that's where you genuinely change. That's where you genuinely feel like, you know what? I literally stood on my promise and I did it for myself. A righteous man doesn't choose the easy path. He chooses the right one, even when it costs him. Even, I promise you, even when you feel like every bone in your body is telling you to go the easy way and you go the hard way, I promise you, one time after a time, after a time, after a time, you're gonna look at yourself and say, you know what? I took the hard path. I took the path of a hero. Carrying the responsibility to protect, not to control. Carry the responsibility to lead, not to dominate. Carry the responsibility to serve, not to seek validation. Remember, in Islam, we have a very nice point, which is Allah will always honor the ones who act with responsibility, even when no one is watching. And I promise you, it's a very difficult thing to do, of course, because we thrive off of external validation. And I'll give you an example from a very concrete thing that happened with me. So I'm going to talk about my breakup and my past relationship. And for me, even after the heartbreak and after a breakup, a man still carries a moral responsibility. How you talk about your partner, how you move on, how you handle the pain. And a righteous man protects even in silence. He respects even while he's afar. And I promise you, I remember because I had that. After the breakup, your brain is a confirmation machine, right? So you can convince yourself that it was horrible. You can convince yourself to talk shit about that person. You can convince yourself, you can literally talk bad about someone and find the proof in your memory to justify this attack. However, as a man, we talked about taking the difficult path, even if it's a path that doesn't align with what you want to do. True, when you break up with someone, you're gutted, right? You're feeling the most difficult emotion, which is grief. The most important part, as a man, it's still your responsibility to talk good about that person. Because as we said in other videos, there's no enemies, only unhealed people. And I promise you, as a man, you will always have responsibility. You will always have, you're going to show your true color. Because I promise you, bad experiences only show the true sentiment of who you are. It's very easy to be a nice person when everyone's nice around you, right? Once someone starts screaming at you and insulting you, that's where your true purpose is gonna show. That's where who you really are is gonna show. It's very easy to like posts on Instagram that talk about self-development and everything. Are you gonna still do it when it's tough? Are you still gonna go to the gym like you promised yourself even when it's raining? Are you still gonna come back home, eat, cook and clean while you had a horrible day at work? That's where you prove to yourself in these moments, that's where your real responsibility as a man shows up. And I promise you, to go back on the breakup, you need to take care of your words and do never poison another person's reputation and never let heartbreak make you bitter. Understand that you always have a choice, and the choice is to show up as a man, to show up as a good person every single day. When people see you and ask, how did you handle your pain? Do they see a man that stood up and was a man about it and took responsibility and protected who he used to love? Or is it a boy who couldn't handle loss? Is it a boy that didn't get his way and started lashing out left and right? That's a very important question to ask yourself. And I go back now to a spiritual core of responsibility as a man. Responsibility isn't just towards people, it's toward God. And even if you don't believe in God, towards the universe. The universe and God, because let's intertwine them for people that don't believe in God. God put you here for a reason. God gave you, in Islam, we call it an amana. It means it's a trust that God gave you. Your body is a trust to God. You're literally showing God what you're going to do with His creation. And once again, you're responsible for how you use your time, your body, your tongue, and your heart. And for me, it's always been interesting that in religion, it teaches you to go the hard, difficult path. In Christianity, Islam, even in Buddhism, even in every single religion, it's always going against the grain, going against the human grain, right? The human lust, greed, gluttony. it's always gonna tell you to go on the more difficult path, because I promise you the path is difficult. But when you sleep at night, and I used to be a relatively bad person, and I still am a sinner, someone that makes mistakes, but I promise you, I go to sleep at night, I know people wronged me, I know I should take revenge on some people and everything, but I go to sleep at night with a genuine light soul. I go to sleep at night, there's not a heavy burden on my soul, and I've been that person. I've been the person that goes to sleep and starts asking himself, oof, there's a huge burden on my chest and soul. And that's a very important thing. You need to be able to look yourself in the eyes and understand exactly each time, did I take the right call or the easy call? Being righteous doesn't mean being perfect. No one is perfect. No one will reach perfection. It's impossible. We're all sinners. In Islam, I remember a topic that once I understood it fixed my relationship with my religion, was that I'm gonna sin 1,000 times. The point is, it's not to stop sinning. Of course, try to stop sinning, but it's to understand that God's mercy is so huge that it will always be there for me. I will always be able to hold myself accountable, and even when I fall, tell myself, I'll get up again. I fall, I'll get up again. And that's a very important topic. Be merciful to yourself. Be the kind of man that God and the universe trust you with their blessings. Because when you carry your responsibility with sincerity, that's when you become a righteous man. And once again, we're all building ourselves. I'm 23 years old. I'm still discovering who I am. I just went out of a relatively difficult breakup, and I'm still out here trying to understand exactly who I am, what's a righteous man and what's a good man. I'm making decisions, and every single time I can't make the right decision, right? You're bound to fail. That's why you're bound to sin. You're bound to have a bad day. I'm bound to skip the gym. I'm bound to not go to the MMA practice. I'm bound to not do my job right. But what will happen at that moment? What will happen? Will I fall or will I stand up once again? As long as you believe in yourself, you will never be broken. Every single time that you fall down, you tell yourself, I know who's going to pick me up. It's me. And if you know yourself and love yourself and are working for yourself and you're making the sacrifices for your future self, I promise you, it's impossible to lose. Statistically, it's impossible to lose. Because you're not just attached to the outcome, right? You're attached to the journey, the progress, becoming a better person, genuinely looking back at yourself and saying, my family loves me, my mom can count on me, my brother can count on me, my friends can count on me. And that's a very important thing. And more important than all these external people, I can count on myself. Right now, I know, since I was able to get over the breakup, since I was able to get over a very difficult job, challenges in my personal life, I know that whatever happens, there's one constant in all the variables in the world, me. And if I'm the constant, then I will get back up every single time. Thank you so much for listening to this video. And it's a topic that really gets me to talk really from my soul, because I do genuinely believe that, and I've seen it, every man is trying to be better. I promise you, even the guy that's sinning every single day, even the guy that's drinking every single day, we all want to be better, and we are gonna get better. Just the fact that you clicked on this video shows yourself that you're trying to get better. You're watching videos that align with who you want to be. So thank you very much. And we're going to be discovering more about the topics of responsibility towards your future self in a future video. And see you in the next one.